kept hearing the term roguelike without really knowing where it came from, so I looked it up. Turns it out it was based on a 1985 DOS game called Rogue, and when I saw it, I knew I had to recreate it using JavaScript and my library, Pi.js. After deciding what game I wanted to make, I was just staring at an empty project. Where do I even begin? I usually like to start with something visual. It helps motivate me and get me excited about the project. So I started with map generation. The very first step was getting some randomized rooms on the screen. The key part here is making sure the rooms don't overlap. The next step, I need to find a way to connect the rooms. I came up with a simple algorithm to connect each room to the previous room. Each connection has a joint between them, making sure the paths are not diagonal. After that, I wanted to make the rooms look a bit nicer, so I added ASCII borders around the rooms. Then I added doors where the paths connected to the walls. But there is a problem. When a path runs alongside a wall, it replaces all the doors with walls. So I had to come up with a different strategy for generating the doors. Basically, I just reject the map when this happens and generate a new map. It's kind of a hack, and there are most certainly better ways to do this, but it works and I'm happy with the way it looks, so I decided to keep it this way. Next, I wanted to make exploration more interesting, so I added dead ends, hidden paths, and hidden doors. Right now I'm just using placeholders on the map to store the hidden paths and doors, but later I will make sure they are hidden until the player finds them with a search command. After that, I was pretty happy with how the procedural maps were looking, so I started working on the player movement. I added a new player object to the game and added movement. Then I added lighting using a line of sight algorithm. Then I added a sidebar and items. With the additions of items and gold, I thought it'd be nice to add shops. This is not something in the original DOS game, but I thought it was a nice addition. Plus, I wanted to add some additional gameplay elements, like I added torches for lighting. I'm also limiting inventory items to 10 items. This will force the player to have to manage their inventory. In the original, gold was just used for a high score tracker. With shops in my version, it gives more meaning to gold. Now to create the ASCII art for the shop. First, I had AI generate an image of the shop. I tried various different versions with Gemini and ChatGPT until I found one I liked. Then I tried to convert the ASCII art using this tool I found online. But I didn't really like the way it looked, so I just created it by hand. And this is what I came up with. But I thought it needed some colors. So the way I'm doing that with Pi.js is to print the different colored sections one by one on top of each other. After that, I added enemies and combat. For the enemies, I have them randomly spawn in rooms when the level is loaded, and also they can spawn between moves, but only in non-lit tiles. The enemies are alphabet characters, with lowercase characters for the weaker enemies and uppercase for more stronger enemies. I also included ranged combat for the player, and they can fire in 8 different directions. Finally, I added different wall colors for the levels as you progress through the dungeon. And then when you reach the 20th level, you can find the Pi amulet that triggers the end of the game. I added a game over screen which will show up when you beat the game or when you die. And that is my port of Rogue in JavaScript and Pi.js. You can find links to the code and the game in the description.